There is a lot that we still don't know about the shooter in Georgia who tragically killed 8 people at a massage parlor on Tuesday, but it increasingly seems that the early claims that race was not a motivating factor for the shooter, those claims appear to be falling apart, including based on some new witness testimony given to a South Korean newspaper that has been covering the story. So to catch everybody up, the suspect is a 21-year-old male. He is alive. He was taken into custody on Tuesday after this horrific shooting at a massage parlor in Georgia that left, at last count, 8 dead and 1 injured. And police have had a chance to interview him. This doesn't always happen in these situations where the shooter, either at their own hand or at that of the police, often will end up dead. Not the case here. Police speak to the shooter, and the initial belief by many was this was clearly an anti-Asian hate crime. This was an individual targeting Asian individuals. But then it wasn't so clear. And it could be partially that and partially what they are describing as sex addiction, which I'm hearing incel as someone who's involuntarily celibate. But the point is, I have no interest in prematurely saying it's one thing or the other, or neither or both. What I know is that the law enforcement in the U.S. and the American right will often characterize shootings by white men differently than they characterize shootings by non-white men. That we know. And because of that, we're sort of on alert as we hear and try to determine what the motive was here. And there's no question that people often will play coy with terms like terrorist, lone wolf, and these other types of terms. In this case, it's just early. It's a tragedy either way. But we know most of the victims are Asian. Now, yesterday, there was a very strange press conference with some of the police. And I'm going to play a clip for you of Captain Jay Baker of the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office saying that the shooter had a bad day and he was at the end of his rope on the day that he killed 8 people. And many people rightly reacting by saying this guy, the guy from the Cherokee police, Jay Baker, he almost sounds like more sympathetic to the shooter than to the victims in some strange way. Take a look at this video.
The investigators, they interviewed him this morning, and they got that impression that, yes, he understood the gravity of it, and he was pretty much fed up and kind of at the end of his rope, and yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
Remorseful?
I'm not going to go to, I don't know if he was remorseful or not.
He's a pretty young guy.
He was fed up and had a really bad day and killed 8 people. Just kind of strange language for describing what happened. It almost sounds, again, more sympathetic to the shooter than the victims. I think that's the bizarre thing. But okay, maybe race wasn't a factor. We don't know yet. And then maybe not shockingly, after this bizarre press conference, we learn that Jay Baker, the Georgia sheriff's spokesman you heard from there, has previously posted xenophobic COVID shirts on Facebook where he said he loves his shirt, and the shirt is a shirt that says COVID-19 imported virus from China, CHY-NA. So now maybe we're doubting what this guy says. And then we get reporting from the South Korean newspaper Chosun, which interviewed victims and reports that the Atlanta shooter said to a witness, or a witness heard the shooter say, "I'm going to kill all Asians." And we've translated the article from Korean. The reporter is Hwang Ji-yoon. It includes reports of interviews with witnesses and the quote that on the 17th, the Hankuk Ilbo Atlanta quoted an employee a member of the Gold Massage Spa where the shooting took place, and said that the suspect at the time of the crime said that he would, quote, kill all Asians. It is known that this witness, Mr. A, was in the store at the time of the shooting, but managed to evacuate and then gave this information to nearby Korean businesses. So it's becoming harder and harder to believe that a guy saying he's going to kill all Asians wasn't at least partially motivated by race. Here is another clip. In this one, Frank Reynolds, a Cherokee County sheriff, says that this appears to be sexual addiction, not racism. Take a look.
We did interview him last night. He is currently in our facility at the Cherokee County Adult Detention Center. We were able to interview him with the Atlanta Police Department and FBI. He made indicators that he has some issues, potentially sexual addiction, and may have frequented some of these places in the past. But as the chief indicated, it's still early on. We still have a lot of things to process, and so he should be at an arraignment tomorrow at some time early morning to late morning, and we will keep you up to date. We have a press release that Captain Baker has put together available to our media folks. If you don't have that, I think we have some printed copies that he'll be happy to give to you. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have at the moment.
So are you saying, when you talk to the suspect, he says he has a sexual addiction issue, but I'm sure you asked him, was this racially motivated? Was this racially motivated?
As the chief indicated, it's still early, but the indicators right now are it may not be. It may be targets of opportunity. Again, we believe that he frequented these places in the past, and may have been lashing out, and part of that is in your media packet as well.
But the working theory is a sexual addiction issue rather than a racial profile.
During our interviews, we asked that specific question, and that did not appear to be the motive.
Questions till the end, please.
Yes.
Let us get through
Thank you.
the press conference, and then we'll answer any questions.
According to authorities, the suspect intended to also target the pornography industry in Florida before he was apprehended. And again, the statements, there's a claim that the shooter said, "I wasn't motivated by race or politics. I was motivated by my addiction to sex." The claims from the witness about "I'm here to kill all Asians" certainly seem to contradict that. Now, I don't know that it necessarily has to be one or the other. You could have someone who, I guess the term incel is sort of pejorative, but it's an individual frustrated by his celibacy. They're celibate, but they don't want to be celibate. And for a variety of different reasons, they're unable to find relationships with, if you're interested in the opposite sex, as it appears this person was, members of the opposite sex. It could be both. It could be racially motivated and incel motivated, or more one or more the other. So whether or not this was racially motivated, there have been many racially motivated shootings. Whether this one is racially motivated doesn't change that racially motivated shootings are a problem in the United States. Some people immediately said, of course this is racially motivated, and anyone saying otherwise is lying to you or dishonest. Others have been saying there's no way this is racially motivated and we shouldn't look for that. Even some on the left, in fact, have been saying stuff like that. From what we know so far, there is certainly reason to suspect that race was one of possibly more than one motivation. Let's continue to allow the information to lead us to the answer. I have no political or emotional attachment to it being one or the other. But what we do know is there at least now is a report of the shooter saying, "I'm here to kill all Asians." We will see what comes out. We'll see what else we learn about this sheriff spokesperson who posted xenophobic China shirts to Facebook. Every detail continues to just be more and more alarming. One of our sponsors is Magic Spoon, the breakfast cereal that tastes just like the sugary, tasty, delicious cereals we loved as kids, but without the sugar and without the carbs. Magic Spoon is sweet and delicious with 0 grams of sugar, 13 grams of protein, and only 4 net carbs, making it perfect for a low-carb or keto diet. This month, Magic Spoon is releasing 2 amazing new flavors. We're talking about cookies and cream and maple waffle. Only available for a limited time. Of course, you can still get cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, and cinnamon. Build your own variety pack. Our team has tried every flavor. We keep asking them to send us more. Magic Spoon is as good as it sounds. Magic Spoon ships to the US and Canada, and you'll get $5 off and free shipping when you go to magicspoon.com/Pakman and use the coupon code Pakman. I've put the link underneath this video.